Okay, so what kind of situation do we have at the moment from a XRP USD perspective? Now let's start our analysis from the weekly time frame. What we have on the weekly we have a market that clearly has created this very nice impulse to the downside, followed by this retracement. Now the retracement broke back above the support that we had here. In fact, the market at this level had found the support that made it possible for the market to make all this move to the upside, and then after the market broke the zone to the downside, this level was obviously turned resistance. However, the market broke back above it, confirming it as new support at this zone. And in fact, the market is now respecting it again as new support. In fact, you can see that multiple rejections have been created at the area. Now, if you want to measure this retracement, how are you supposed to be doing it? Taking your Fibonacci from the high to the low of the impulse. And what you can see is that currently the market rejected a 50% close below 0.382 and already rejected it 3 times on the retest. So at the moment the market is below resistance. However, it has support at this area, and we will have to see how the market will actually play out. Now, if we go down on the daily time frame, what kind of situation we have? Now, on the daily time frame, everything appears extremely clear. Why? Because we clearly can see that the market has support at this area, and at the same time, we can clearly see that the market has resistance at this area. So we know that here we have weekly support, and here we have daily resistance. We have previous daily support now turned resistance. So it's very easy to see that the market is currently trapped in between this support and this resistance. Now, until the market will remain inside of this range, we are not interested with students on any potential trading opportunities on XRP USD. But things might definitely get interesting if the market will actually manage to break to the upside of this range. In fact, if the market will break above the range, then what will happen is that this daily support here that was turned resistance at this area will be again turned support. So on the retest of the zone, what we will have? We will have previous daily resistance at this area that will be turned support. Here we will have the confluence of this impulse correction and impulse pattern to the upside. We will have the confluence of the Fibonacci taken from the low to the high of the impulse, possibly at 0.618 golden ratio Fibonacci confluence of support exactly at this zone. So how we will be approaching this situation with students? If the market will manage to break and retest the area, we will definitely be monitoring price action from a 4-hour perspective with students inside of this area, waiting for the market to provide to us one of our valid entries. And if the market will provide to us one of our valid entries inside of this zone, we will be taking a nice long position with a very good risk to reward and very good probabilities for the move to the upside, completion of this impulse correction and impulse pattern to the upside, and successful retest of this range. On the other side, if the market will manage to break this zone to the downside, then what will happen? We will have this previous daily support that was support here, support here, support here. It will be turned resistance at this area. We will have the break of the weekly support that we have identified earlier. Okay, this area here will have been broken to the downside. And if weekly support is broken to the downside, you're right, it's turned resistance. And after this break, on the pullback back inside of the area, that is where we will find the best probabilities and best risk to reward. Because again, we will have a confluence of resistance at this area. We will have the possibility to create this impulse correction and impulse pattern to the downside, and we will have the retest of all this support that will be turned resistance, both from a daily and weekly perspective. So at that point, we will be monitoring price action on the 4-hour time frame inside of this area with students, waiting for the market to provide to us one of our valid entries. And as soon as the market will provide to us one of our valid entries, we will be taking a nice short with a very good risk to reward and very good probabilities for the move to the downside and creation of a lower low. Now, if you enjoyed this free analysis and education, make sure you drop a like and a comment. It really does support the creation of more free education and analysis for all of you, and I will see you in the next video.